Hi, good afternoon. My name is Ross. I'm in Los Angeles. This is the International Art Alliance and the Palimpsest Project. Today, we're with our group Cheryl in Australia. Hi, Cheryl. Denise in Saint Jerome, Quebec, Canada. Hi, Denise. Stephanie McLean in Toronto, Canada. Hi, Stephanie. Rose is in Vancouver, British Columbia. Are you frozen? No, you're really there. Hi. And Laura, you're in the United Kingdom. Can you say something in Italian for us so we can hear your beautiful lilting
Ciao a
language?
tutti, sono Lara, e, e sono italiana.
Now say, I'm blushing.
Benvenuti a Palimpsest.
Oh, that
Yay.
really does sound so much better.
It does. So beautiful. Italian's a
We'll have to
beautiful
have an
language.
Italian episode, I think.
We'll have to have an Italian episode, a French episode. Yeah. So, as you may know, this is our 51st episode today, and we've been working together for over a year, not just recording these, but in service of creating our palimpsest artwork. A palimpsest is a piece of art or manuscript that's been worked on, and then something's been altered or annotated, scraped off, drawn back on, reiterated in some kind of way. And that's what we're doing. We're making artwork and then physically sending that artwork around the world to each other to take that vulnerable moment and do something actually on someone else's canvas. So if you've ever worked in a group project before, you know this can be tricky. This can be tough. But this hasn't been tough. We've had a couple of moments that have been a little uncomfortable, but it hasn't been tough. The toughest thing is just getting ourselves to do it, because we're usually so in awe of what each other has already done and put down there. It's like, I don't want to touch that. That looks really good already. But as part of the process, we have to trust each other and trust the process. And as we spoke about once before, that's part of the motivation for many of us, is in trusting this kind of process. But trusting the process doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to love each other or love the process or love the collaboration. But I'll just speak for myself. I do. I love you people. I love our collaboration. I look forward to seeing you. I'm never kind of like, oh, I got to go do this thing now, which I do the rest of my life. So I'm wondering, what are you guys doing that keeps the love alive, that keeps the collaborative love alive for you?
Can I go first for this one?
Yeah.
When you were talking, it just sort of struck me about the concept of empathy, which I sort of think is what you were talking about, like the love, and it's having empathy. And I often think that art, when I look at other people's artwork, I have to have empathy for it, or I have to connect to them, and I have to connect to the artwork, which is empathy.
Oh, wow.
When you were just talking about that, we all have to have empathy, which is where I was daydreaming this morning, because I picked up one of my books and it was a Tansy, and I don't know, Ross, if you realize, in one of the LA galleries, I don't even know what it's called, someone's name, they had that beautiful collection of the Tansy work, and because of the current situation of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, the fellow in that particular art gallery had this amazing painting, and it had a lot of very, very famous people, massive painting. And when I looked really close, there was a woman in it, and it was Princess Di, and she was digging her own grave. And it was this really, really strange feeling. And anyway, I think that's just totally, but I was actually, anyway, I was just sort of thinking about the empathy that we have with it, and even with the way that that situation's unraveling also at the moment. But I think that we have just so much empathy for each other and for art, like the painter.
Oh,
I
what
think
a
I've gone too
brilliant
far.
point.
I
Yeah,
should have said it.
if we're not feeling what the artist is feeling in some, either by subject matter, by composition, like eye movement, even how that's what brings us into the painting, and has always brought us into the artwork. There's something, color, composition, all the formal elements, and then the later you go into the later you go into art history with the expressionists and abstractions, something more ethereal, less tangible, that we're able to then relate to in some kind of way. And I think that's probably the hallmark of modern art is, it's in some way it's more difficult to empathize because it's so subjective. It's so much more subjective than it was, yet more powerful to empathize with.
Yeah.
There's so much
More on the unconscious level rather than conscious representation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A good point. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think,
And Rose, you deal. Oh, go on,
Go ahead.
Denise. Yes.
no, I was going
No,
to
go
say
on.
that I think that empathy and the fact that we all have it to this extent is what makes this project successful, is what keeps the love in our collaboration. Because literally, because for me personally, and it's not just from an artistic perspective, but also from just a practical, just how a collaboration practically works, like stuff that needs to be done. I set very, very, very high bars for myself, and I I always have to keep in mind that I have to be very conscientious of all of you and make sure that because I know that I can be sort of a force of nature, especially in my planning and everything. And I don't want to be the person where we talked about yesterday, who walks over everything and who sort of blindly says, no, we need to do this, and now we need to do this, because I'm very like, in my mind.
But you're talking, you'll never ever be like that, because you have empathy, and there are people who do not have empathy, full stop.
Well, but
so
that's why I'm saying I think
that's not your problem.
That's right.
That is
but you're
how
never going to have that problem.
How we keep this project, that's one of the most important things, I think, in doing a project like this, is always keeping in mind that to think about the other people, and to think about the value of each and every one of our input, both on a artistic level and on a just a practical level. And I have to say, that is one of the things that warms my heart the most, is at the point where we had a little issue and I felt frustrated, and I wasn't quite sure in the beginning whether I should say something. And I was afraid that by saying something, I might step on toes and people might get mad. And I did, and each and every one of you stepped up to a point where I'm now like so happy, and I feel like the whole issue that is not there anymore, just because I was able to trust you and say that, trust you enough that I knew I could say something without everything falling apart.
Oh, so Rose, before I get to you, I just want to mention that what you're talking about sounds like, in addition to the overall empathy that Cheryl's talking about, the kindness that we bring as people. Like, you're some of the kindest people I've ever met. I've got to just say that. And then the consideration, right, in care. So when you asked us to, look, I'm doing an awful lot here, and I need to know, are you guys really into this or not? It's like, well, I really care about this project, and I care about you people, and I care about Denise, and Denise is asking for this. And it was really the ask that was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize that I was so out of touch. And I think that's the hallmark of, I know the hallmark, maybe the cornerstone of trust is, do we care? Right? Like, do you care? Can you show that you care?
Right.
I think that that point was a pivot point for all of us, because before that that clarification was like I I felt like we were following of it was flowing, but with no too much meaning. Yeah, there was meaning, but not as much as now.
Yeah, no purpose,
was,
I think. No purpose.
Yeah. So it was really important, and probably from that point on, I hope that we will be always so clear each other, and I must say that I felt really more trusting this group after that, because also I felt that I can say what I need to say without being
judged. Yeah.
Well, and I think we should clarify that we really did have quite a heated discussion at some point, where quite a few things were said where normally you would think a lesser group would have fallen apart at that point. Some people would have just said, "Well, this is too much for me. I don't want to deal with this."
Yeah. But then Denise, sorry, go ahead, Cheryl.
Go, Steph. Go.
Okay. Well, but then Denise, I mean, you are, as you said a few times, like very organized. And so I know that we all really appreciate the organization that you brought to this group, like from, after Lara suggested that we pre-tape these recordings or these episodes, which was totally smart. Denise went ahead and scheduled everything and basically assigned tasks, but was, exercised her empathy and made sure that she checked with all of us to make sure that, are you okay with doing this? Are you okay with doing that? No? Okay, well, let me teach you. And so you went above and beyond just like organizing. You actually taught us all how to do this tech stuff, which is just like, thank you.
Yeah, but it's totally selfish though, because I want to be sure that I'm not the only one I don't want to be the only one who is responsible. So this is purely from a purely selfish point of view that I'm sharing all my knowledge, because I don't want to be the only one who's responsible.
And we don't want you to be the only one who's responsible either. That's what I think.
Yeah,
I don't think any of us.
Because we want to be an organism that can continue when you're on vacation, or when anybody needs to take care of whatever needs to be taken care of. We need to have each other's backs.
Yeah.
And that includes the tech. That includes, like, I'm learning a lot from everybody about like how you craft your content and how often you do your social media. And to be perfectly honest, I haven't made any sales from any of these things that we've implemented that I learned from Alexis. I haven't made the money back that I spent on taking that course, not even remotely. I haven't been accepted into almost everything that I've submitted for the last year. I'm not really like making those kind of big leaps and bounds, but I'm learning a lot, and I'm absorbing, like Stephanie said, sometimes you absorb things by osmosis. Sometimes you ask and you find out, oh, you just have to airdrop that stupid video to make it fit the format. And I'm like, mind blown. I spent 3 hours trying to figure this out. I wasted my time. I was frustrated. And if I'd been on my own, I would have probably given up, or God forbid, call my son for advice and be told I should be able to figure it out myself. That is to be avoided at all costs. So struggling through, but then you guys are there and you have my back on that level. So us taking on these other tasks is actually like, that's the going outside the box part that I'm very much loving and appreciating. And when it comes to love, honestly, it's kind of easy for me, because the images, the tangible pieces of art that are coming into my hands are eliciting an emotion each and every time. Each piece of art is doing, like Cheryl said, it's triggering an empathy that is channeled through the medium of the visual art. And I am responding, like many human beings do, to visual art, that with an emotion. And most of the time I'm loving these images, and they're pulling this thing out of me that is delightful for me to experience. And then it's kind of motivating whatever comes out of my hands onto those paintings, which is then another kind of love. It's like, I love to paint. I love to make art. I love to jump into the imagination. And you guys are sending me these beautiful things that are giving me a direction and a vessel for my imagination to fly. And that's a kind of love. I mean, every artist, I think, gets up and goes back to their tools because of that kind of fundamental love of what we do. It's a passion, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is stirring that passion for me. It's like vitamins for the artist. I swear to God.
Right.
Yeah.
Stephanie, what do you think?
Oh, you guys have said it all. I don't know. I just, I mean, empathy, trust, you know, how do we keep the love in our collaboration? Which is what you're asking me about. Sorry, I'm trying to compute this all. Yeah, empathy, trust, you know, trying to make sure that I keep my end of the bargain by sending things out on time, which I haven't always. But you know, also kind of making sure that we all play our part in this big sort of puzzle that is this Palimpsest Live, with the tech and the paintings and the meetings that we've had. Yeah, that's how I guess I'm seeing that we keep the love.
Ross,
really pointing out that there are multiple parts of what we're doing. It's not only like our whole Palimpsest project. It's not only the artwork that we're sending out. It's not only the meetings that we're having to plan, consider, talk about. It's like all of these things together, the technical parts and the planning parts and the you know, the concepts and the relationships. I hadn't really thought of really how far reaching all of this is. You know, I've been so focused on the artwork and how's the artwork going and where are we going with the artwork and what I'm gonna do next and what are you gonna do next and what's that gonna look like and how are we gonna get there, and you know, but it really, it's really about this. We're really talking about a process. Yeah.
I just want to say something. As an expressive arts therapist, I've had occasion for people to ask me, like, you know, when you're down or when you're not at your best or when you just don't feel like putting one foot ahead of the other, like, what do you do? And I've often told people, well, the best thing to do is do something for someone else. So, you know, go and volunteer or do something for someone else. And it's very selfish because there is such a feedback, a neuroplastic feedback, a neuro-emotional, psychological feedback when you do something for someone else, that it's good for you and it raises the spirits. And so I'm getting that when I know that I'm stepping up and I'm being accountable to my friends in the Palimpsest group, that I'm meeting a goal that's been set that we need to meet for us. I'm getting that feeling that when you do things for others as well as doing for myself, and when I'm just doing my own marketing or my own artwork or my own applications, I often don't, because I suffer from depression. And so it gets put aside and I don't feed myself that way. I fall down on that very often. And for me, this is one of those ways that to feed the love feeds the love, because it's a cycle.
So why don't we break it down just a little bit even further, our group? And so, Rose, if you have something that needs, so if you need to do something, drop it in our things, sort of say, by such and such, I'm going to do this, and we'll keep you accountable.
You have been, and it's even just saying anything, once it's out, then I feel more motivated to actually pursue it and contemplate in my brain actually getting past some of my barriers. You know, I mean, let's face it, I've had in my life, I've had rejection based on something that I didn't know about for almost, you know, most of my life. And I didn't realize that many of the challenge I met and lack of opportunities and potentials that I thought I was qualified for that I didn't get, I didn't know at the time until my son was arrested. And the police officer wrote it right in a statement that he thought he was Native. They offered us Indigenous supports at the court. And I all of a sudden understood why I hadn't gotten medical treatment adequately for 30 years.
Oh my
In a
God.
country where I watched everyone around me get what they needed,
Oh my God.
including transgender operations paid for by the government. And I couldn't get any treatment for the equivalent of a kidney stone for 30 years. I didn't know why I wasn't getting what I thought I deserved, what my mom could get when she went to the hospital. And then I understood. And it was, you know, like I have some damage. I have some trauma. I have a lot of microaggressions and a lot of crap that I didn't realize was not about me. Then I did understand it wasn't about me. And I became very insecure about, well, what job interview do I apply for? Which gallery do I walk into? Because I don't know when I'm going to encounter that stuff. And it damaged me. So I need this support. I need to feel like I'm watching other people meet their goals and get ahead and get some successes, and to see that it can be done. And it's not just, oh, other people out there, but people I know. And that is huge. It's huge. That's what group therapy, that's the whole power of being in a group therapeutic situation, is that you get to see other people's shared experiences and you don't feel alone.
You know, speaking of shared experiences, one thing that you mentioned, Rose, was that sometimes when you're feeling down, helping someone else out makes you feel better. And it's true. And I've experienced that myself. And I think what we're doing as a group is that, in that, like, we're really, you know, we each kind of vibrate on our own frequency, let's say, but then as a group, we're raising that vibration, right? We really, that vibration really, it's almost palpable, right? I mean, it is in the paintings, right? But also in our relationship, in our group dynamic.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to say that I feel a level of safety amongst this group and tackling issues together that even just come up in the paintings that I don't necessarily feel comfortable in other situations doing. That's a kind of love there.
Do you know what I sort of have a thing that I've always got to do everything by myself.
Denise just nodding. Yeah. I know that feeling.
That sounds very familiar. Yeah.
Especially as artists, I think that we're more inclined.
Yeah.
Because who else is? No one's going to touch my work. I'm not going to let anybody touch my work.
No.
So we're breaking all of those.
Or
tell me what. Yeah. So we're breaking all of these molds.
Yeah, and I have a gallery down the road, and it has a restrictive trade practice. So if my work gets into that gallery, then I can't sell my work privately for 100K, which would take out 6 million people for me, which is a quarter of Australians' population, because most people live here. How about that?
Yeah, don't go in that gallery.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's restrictive practices. So it's like, no, I'll just do my own thing.
Yeah.
I'll organize my own exhibition.
Yeah.
I was looking at the place where it is at the Crown Plaza, and I was looking at, I'm going, got to write them a letter. I've got to do this. I've got to do that. I've got to organize something there. I've got to get some sort of a dinner. Got to get an event.
Wow, this was really a meaningful and like really heartfelt and Rose, heartbreaking conversation. Thank you all for participating.
You know, George Floyd wasn't about me, but about a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, let's jump the shark a little bit. That's an old reference. I don't know if any of you have any idea what that really means. But
not that old. Wait, what are you saying? It's old. Not that old.
Okay, not that old. It's in reruns right now. It's not that old. But we have the privilege today to have a peek into Denise's studio. This is where Denise goes to make art and make more art and package her art. And I guess, do you have studio visits? Is that something that you do?
I do. If people would like that, yes, they can go on my website and they can sign up, and then I can either do that virtually or in person.
Why, do you have a special button or something that says "Come for a studio visit"? And oh, that's so cool!
Sign
what a great idea!
That's a great
We
idea.
should do that, guys. We should borrow that from Denise. Okay.
Yes. Come into my living room.
Well, this is officially a garage.
You could have a dinner party, Stephanie. You could do an art showing and a dinner.
Art dinner party.
Art dinner party.
We are in my garage.
That's
a
scary.
great
Don't
idea.
go there. Okay, that's
No,
overwhelming.
that's a great idea. I love that.
All right. We're
I
at
love
the
that idea.
entrance.
So
Cool.
I have my own door.
Oh,
And
nice.
outside there, that's Bubbles. That's my car.
Her
And
van.
I'm very lucky. I have my own little corner here where I have a little display, and then on the table, there's actually a piece I finished yesterday that it's upside down right now, but I'm varnishing.
Ooh, it's
that.
finished.
It is finished. I'm very happy with that.
Yay.
And then this is my easel. And then over there,
I love
have
the
all
crow.
my paints
Oh,
on the
wow.
wall.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
And then I am so
how
lucky. This
exciting.
was my absolute dream, was to have access to
Yeah.
water.
Yeah.
It's
No,
literally-
seriously, that's
Right.
huge.
That
Well-
makes a difference for you with your process.
It does. And my
Mhm.
husband just came in and he was like, "That sink needs a scrubbing." And I was like, "No, really, it doesn't. It really doesn't." And then up there, I have some of my memories from family. And over
Nice.
there, some of my memories from Japan. And then that's the door that actually goes to my house.
Oh,
And that's the door that goes to my yard, which I
Ooh.
cannot access right now because there's a mountain of snow in front of it. And then here in the corner,
Right.
the pieces down there are finished. The white one I still have to work on. And then this one also, that's the next one up. that I'm
Ooh,
working on. And then here's
nice.
my little art wall where I have some artwork from friends, and that this one over here is actually one that was given to me by my Japanese sensei. It's one of my favorite washi artists. It's Mount Fuji.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
And then over here, my little niece sends me paintings every once in a while.
Nice.
Oh, beautiful.
Those are really
She's
nice.
actually really
Yeah.
talented. She is. I'm
Yeah.
actually working on this project together with her, where every time I go to Holland, I paint paintings together with her.
Oh.
You said you
How
did
old
that
is
at
she?
Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry?
How
So
old is
that's my
she?
space.
Nice. Very nice.
Stephanie asked, how old is your niece?
My niece, she's 7 now. I think.
7?
Yeah.
7.
Oh, a budding artist
That's
for
nice.
sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I every time it's her birthday or anything, I'll always send her something art related.
You don't do that for
drawing
my
stuff or-
birthday.
Cheryl's going to get crayons.
Yes.
I would like that.
Last time around, I sent her a book
Yeah,
on
I'm
how
sure
to
you can
draw
do something
horses.
amazing with the crayons too.
Oh,
I
that's
don't think
nice.
you need that.
Wow. Well, Denise, thank you for showing us around your beautiful
Yeah. Thank
studio.
you.
It's really exciting over there. You've got a lot
Yeah.
going on in that space.
That was
Ooh,
cool.
yeah, it's oh, I forgot to mention the best thing actually, because I have storage space. Look at that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That's
Is
cool.
that all
All my
raw
paintings
material up
live.
there, or they're
Upstairs.
Nice.
finished works?
Sorry?
Those are finished works, or that's
Yeah.
raw work.
No, that's finished work.
That's her inventory.
Wow.
That's
See,
my
people,
inventory up
some
there.
of her paintings are still available.
Yep.
Hop on those.
That's right. And Denise, you are just the piece you're working on has a crow on it. This is the first
It's a
I've
kea
seen with
bird,
you.
actually.
Oh, sorry. It looks like a crow from here. Sorry.
No,
What
it's
kind
of-
a
what kind of
bird
bird
is
is a native to New Zealand, and
Oh.
Kiwi.
I'm gonna call it Heya Kea because Jess just grabs
Oh,
me up.
it's a kea bird. Hey, kea. That's
Heya
cute.
Kea.
That's
Nice.
Is
cute.
this a picture from New Zealand?
Yes, it's a scene from New Zealand.
What city?
Nice.
Cool.
If I remembered what it was called, that would be great. But it is the steampunk headquarters is there, and the whole town is all steampunk. It's awesome. And there are
Oh my
these
God, I've
amazing
never heard of such a
galleries,
thing.
and people just walk around in steampunk clothes, just
Oh,
regular.
wow.
That
It's so
sounds
awesome.
great.
Yeah, it is.
Sounds
It is
fun.
really
Rose,
Oh my
great.
you
God,
would like
learn something
that.
new every
Rose.
day.
Yeah, I would like that.
It's really awesome. But I
That
have
would
to
be
look up the
very,
name
very
of the
cool.
town.
It would be great for photography. I'd like to go there just to shoot photos.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds
Maybe,
great.
maybe we should all just sort of meet there.
That would be
It's a
awesome.
bit out of the
Let's
way.
go to Kea. No, what did you say? No, what was it? You
It's a
didn't
bird.
remember the name of it.
Yeah, the name of the town I don't remember. I know it's between.
Let's go to the
it's on
mystery
South
town.
Island. It's
Do
on
you
the
know
South
that
Island, and
New
it's
Zealand, they haven't had postcards for that long, postcodes for that long, because it's
Wow.
such a small population, and that's
Yeah.
fairly a new thing, having like
Oh.
postcodes.
Wow.
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, let's meet there for our show. Let's get a gallery show there.
That
New
sounds awesome.
Why
Zealand.
not, right? Why
you,
not?
You guys can fly direct. It's just across the way from me.
Okay. Sure.
And across the way for you could mean like going from New York to California. So how close is it
No,
really?
it's actually, it's not that far. It's only like a few hours by plane.
Oh.
It's nothing.
Oh.
I mean, seriously, to get to Perth is something like, I don't know, 6-8 hours, whatever, by plane. But no, New Zealand's close.
Oh, it's all
Oh.
relative.
Sweet.
Wow.
Well, now we
It's
have a
all
new plan.
relative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Screw Hawaii. We're coming to New Zealand.
Yes. I want to go to the steampunk place.
Yeah,
does sound
me too.
fun.
That
Yeah.
sounds cool.
Yeah. Well, come back next week, our lovely audience, and we'll be talking again about some compelling subjects. I think that we tend to veer as much towards philosophy as anything else. We're looking to uncover something that most artists aren't talking about, in their podcasts and in their world. We're really talking about the making of art with other people. This is an unusual kind of circumstance, and this is a different kind of world that we're living in. We get to do this together. This is a really unique circumstance that we've availed ourselves. And I'm so appreciative of each one of you that I get to work with you. This is just the most exciting thing that I do all week, and aside from doodling, and it's just great to see your faces all the time, and we get to
Likewise,
hear
Ross.
about our joys and our struggles, and everybody out in the world there, come back next week, and we'll have some more wonderful things to talk about. Send us questions, send us ideas, opinions, whatever. We want to hear from you too. We're collaborating, right, around the world.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. See you next time.
Thanks, Ross. Thanks, everybody.